So, here's the thing. We all watch tons of music videos. We've been dancing in front of the TV watching our favorite music band day in and day out. At least I did. Now the question is it possible to create mind-blowing music videos at home? What's up guys, Joshua here and welcome back to my channel. No, we're not gonna shoot a complete music video together. Instead, I'm gonna show you 3 lighting concepts you can use for your next music video shoot. But we are not limiting ourselves guys. You could absolutely use the following setups in any movie type of scene. In fact, there are countless music videos inspired by Hollywood movies. For example, California Love, Lost in Japan, Thank You Next, and many more. In fact, countless. So it's not a shame to be inspired by Hollywood movies when shooting music videos. You get the point. I'm gonna be splitting up each scene into 3 parts. After watching each one, to emphasize the importance of lighting, I'm gonna show you a before and after for the shot. It will make it even clearer what difference lighting makes with proper lighting setups. And then I'll show you all the lights I used and how to set them up. Last but not least, we will talk about the problems I encountered while setting up the scene. The first scene will be a chilled, mellow vibe, a 90s R&B type of mood. Next up, I'll show you how to shoot dramatic silhouettes with only one light source. And last but not least, without spoiling too much, we'll create a movie-inspired scene, a dark room. It doesn't always have to be the most beautiful location or the biggest sports car. So I hope with this video, I can encourage you to prioritize lighting in each one of your projects. Alright guys, without further ado, let's jump right into the first scene. So, what we did here is, we created a setup with 3 lights. I used my Forza 300 at 2700 Kelvin to create a pretty warm tone. It is supposed to emulate sundown, therefore, it has to be a hard light source. Shooting combined with the NANLITE projector attachment, you can create all kinds of shapes and patterns. In this case, onto the wall and onto the sofa, and of course onto the subject. It is slightly wrapping around the face, which is giving the audience a subtle hint of warmth. Depending on the mood you're targeting, I would always recommend to shoot from the dark side, the shadow side from the subject. This gives the scene mood and character. Furthermore, to set a moody scene, I added haze. This makes the light rays even more visible and gives your small room more depth and dimension. Secondly, I had to use my PowerTube 30C to balance the environment, as the room tone was much cooler and natural. Last but not least, I added a PowerBulb 10C as a practical light to light up a part of the foreground. By adding another layer, the depth of the image increases. It is also giving us contrast. It is important to find the right angle while placing the projector. Shooting alongside the window is essential to make it look quote-unquote natural. Oh yeah, the projector by the way is super heavy, so keep that in mind when operating by yourself. Normally, if possible, you'd place the light source, which is supposed to emulate sundown, outside the window, which wasn't possible in this case. However, the result turned out really good. And now, the second scene.
Yeah. It's heavy. Famous love. Yeah, I gotta keep it trendy on my soul. I'm the most selfish person that I know. Here we go, down the rabbit hole.
Alright, let's talk about the second scene. Silhouettes are often used in film genres like film noir. There are also tons of movies and music videos where this technique is used. It creates drama and separates the subject from everything else in the image. Even though the subject is blacked out, it is clear what or who the main focus is. This is done by lighting a background while leaving the subject partly or fully blacked out. In this case, I used the Fresnel lens combined with the Forza 300, pounding right onto the subject. After adding haze to raise the all-around exposure in the background, I thought the job is already done. So my plan was to create the doorway shot, shooting through some type of hallway, similar to this Euphoria scene. But reflections from all the white walls and from the mirror across the room ruined the all-around look. The barn doors of the Fresnel lens helped a lot to shape the light. To avoid any further reflections and to keep things dark, you will need a lot of negative fills. Here I used my black backdrop and a black cloth to block all the reflections. It also gave me the hallway type of look. It was way harder than I thought to black out the subject in the first place, but as you can see, we were able to create the dramatic surreal scene as planned. And now onto the third and final scene.
Fast life, the fast living. They see the ambition, they know I'm past driven. Look, we are not the same, this is not a game. I've been swerving through the city in and out of lanes.
This scene is inspired by the movie Kong Skull Island. It's a type of room you don't see often nowadays. I shot this one in our garage. In fact, it's pretty similar to the scene I recreated in my last video, Project Almanac. Go check it out if you haven't seen my last video. I recreated iconic Hollywood movie scenes. I used two PowerTube 30C set to color red to create the look you can see in development rooms. In terms of composition, I make use of my Pebblebot 10Cs, also set to a red tone. The red practicals, combined with the pictures hanging on the leashes, give this white shot depth and point of interest. All in all, the scene is pretty much straightforward and easy to set up. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or direct message me on Instagram. So, that's about it. Music video scenes you could probably do at home. No fancy cars, no fancy locations. Simple lighting can give you the stunning results if you give it the love it needs. Simple doesn't mean easy, it is about knowing what to focus on. So, thank you for watching, hit the like button if you liked this video. If you didn't like it, feel free to hit the dislike button twice.
You afraid to drop a dime when you already dropped a dime. Got a wife at home but you steady